Welcome to the Light in You podcast, a place where inner wisdom meets everyday life with your hosts, Beth and Kathy. We're here to help you reconnect to your presence and light and remember your true self.
Hi, welcome to the Light in You podcast. I'm Kathy, the hippie mom. I channel guidance from the Akashic Records to help you make empowered decisions in your life.
And I'm Beth. I am a holistic practitioner working with people in their presence and energy, teaching people how to thrive and come back to themselves in a powerful way through their purpose and presence. We are so happy you're here today.
Yes.
We're going to talk a little bit about how powerful presence is and what it really means when we are kind of like, what does that actually mean? When are we landing in presence? And Kathy's going to do a beautiful little reading from the Akashic Records, and I will close us out with a meditation.
Okay, so let's get started. Let's see what the Akashic Records have to say. So this is a message. I opened up the Akashic Records of the audience of the Light in You podcast. So this is for all of you that are listening right now. And this is what the Akashic guides had to say. They said, the word they gave me was presence. They said, show up for yourself. You cannot effectively help others if you don't put yourself first. The best way to serve and show up for others is to show up for yourself. This does not mean you need to abandon all and seclude yourself in a cave to meditate. This means that to show up best for everyone, stay grounded, live life, find joy, happiness, and peace. Embody this for yourself. This will allow you to expand and grow so you can ultimately help others more effectively. We cannot stress enough the importance for you to go within. Allow these parts of your past and old programming that no longer serves you to release. Do not think of it as if you are discarding something unsavory. All things serve a purpose in your life. Those past experiences and old programs have built you and brought you to where you are today. It's time to file those experiences away in the file cabinet or the book of your life. Now you have more room for the new. Now you have more space to expand and grow yourself to help those around you, if that is your desire. We love you and are supporting you on your journey.
Beautiful.
Yes.
That really resonated with me when you brought that forth earlier because I've been feeling this call in so many ways to see when is it that I'm coming out of presence, right? So, this place of here and now, we're embodied, we're able to feel what's coming through us. We're not in the past or future tripping, right?
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And when you become conscious of that and start to have that as a practice, you begin to see those little things that kind of pull you, right? And so we're in a really powerful time right now, and the energy is even more heightened because of all the things going on in the cosmos.
Right.
And for me, at least, I've been hyper aware of, okay, what is that? And being with it.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes I think it can be, especially when we feel like we're alone, right? We don't have like a community to or people to sound like to use as sounding boards to say, oh my gosh, this is what I'm going through. And then they can say, well, me too, right? But I think we're all feeling it right now. And even, doing as much work as I've done to clear things in the past, I still have little threads that come through, little remnants. And as I guess as a human, our first thought is like, well, what did I do wrong? I didn't clear it all. But the really cool thing that the Akashic Records have shown me recently is like there's all these layers and they're built on top of each other like this. And as you peel back one, you think, oh, that's it, I'm done with that part of it. And then you start peeling the rest of them, but you need to get through the other layers to get down to that deeper root of that, that same one that you thought you had cleared, if that makes sense. So I think it just knowing that we're all going through that, it's all part of the process. It's all important.
Yeah, and you brought up a great point, Kathy. So wherever you're at is perfect because when I first started this journey, I was so in my head that even just having 5 minutes of presence was really huge, right?
Hmm.
Because I was in this state of looping thoughts and this constant go, go, go. And the majority of the world is in fight or flight about 70% of their day. And so I was definitely a part of that populace, right? I just recently heard something over the weekend about what we're plugging into. So it was this concept that if we are in a lot of the collective society, meaning watching a lot of TV or connecting to the news or being very ensconced in like worldly or societal things, that
Hmm.
we'll be feeling like ourselves being pulled by those strings.
Hmm.
But if we're taking time to be immersed in nature, to connect to the breath in our body, to journal, to be with ourselves in a really powerful way, then we are being witness and bearing witness to what's coming through us. And so I think that that was like a really big, beautiful moment of like hearing that over the weekend because I realized, okay, the first part of my life, I really did feel plugged into that whole like system. And then about 15 years ago, when I experienced the concussion and went through all of the things to really understand, whoa, like if we relax, first of all, I'm here and I get to know more about myself and what I'm inspired by, but our physical body heals and
Hmm.
we have access to this infinite potential that we are. And so just hearing that this weekend, I realized it really is so much in what you're doing with your day in the little ways. Like, is it about something? And it doesn't mean like don't watch a TV show or like don't take some time to enjoy something, but
Right.
it's like this balance of being more in you than the outer
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah. And I think you said something really important about you talked about journaling and meditating and spending time in nature. And so I see this come up when I do readings for people a lot about like there's no right or wrong way. You have to do what feels right for you. So if someone tells you, oh, you have to meditate for an hour every day to get into that presence, to be in that presence, but that doesn't feel right for you, then it's not right for you. Right. So just connecting with what feels right for you. If you don't like to write, then journaling is probably not the right thing for you, right? Because then it feels like a chore. It doesn't feel fun. It doesn't feel like something that you'll enjoy doing. So if that means that going for a walk in nature is something that you enjoy, then do that and just kind of release all of those ideas around I have to do it this way. I have to do it that way because every one of us is unique and different. And so we all have our own way of doing things. So really, you've probably heard it before, take what resonates and leave the rest, right? If walking in nature is your jam, then go for it.
100%. And that's really what we're leading with today in this idea of presence because each person is different and each
Mhm.
person has their own presence that is resonant with other things in this world. And you know when you are because you'll feel at peace, you'll feel more joy, you'll feel fulfilled, you'll feel activated
Mhm.
because you'll be here. Right. And the
Right.
word meditation means to become familiar with. And so we very often put it in this category of, which I do love, just sitting, you know, sitting on the pillow, sitting on the whatever. But there's lots of forms, also walking meditation, but anything that you are being present and becoming familiar with is really what we're bringing forth or talking about this idea today because there is only now, right? In this moment, there's now,
Right.
and the next moment, there still is now. And so, especially with the place the world is right now, I think that there's a lot of pull with events that have happened. And I think that what we're presenting, at least from what's coming through for me, is this idea that when we're really out of touch with ourselves, we can
Mhm.
feel super pulled and feel
Right.
almost reactionary.
Yes.
That reactionary place isn't coming from a place that is our presence and maybe even what we think. Sometimes it can be something that is um, there's a tiger, right? So you go into the limbic part of the brain, the fight or flight, you're no longer experiencing a genuine feeling in your body. And I joke around and I call it corn and corn syrup, right? You have a feeling come through you. It's a natural state of being, which is corn. Corn
Mhm.
was natural and it is still. We still can eat it. And it is amazing how quickly we process corn, right? Jokingly, because I. And then corn syrup was developed, and corn syrup is like sort of what we're talking about. When you go into that fight or flight place, you're no longer being in presence because you're just focused on that thing, right? There's a tiger, tiger, tiger. And so your body can't process those feelings, just like your body can't process corn syrup very well because it's almost manufactured or processed, right? Through all those
Mhm.
looping thoughts, stories, whatever is happening when our bodies and being go into that state. So I always love to this idea of when we're present, we're like having some corn through our process of life. We're feeling something and it just feels like a genuine like, oh, there's a bird or okay, I'm feeling a little bit angry. What is that about? Because we're actually the presence that is experiencing something.
Yes, I love this because it's really all about connecting with yourself, right? And when we watch the news or we hear about things that are happening at it, and then that's where our mind goes, we're not connecting to ourselves anymore. We're connecting to that event or whatever we're hearing, right? So it's all about going back into ourself and having this experience. Like what is true for me now, keeping in the now moment, right? Which is, what presence is.
Yes.
I love it.
Beautiful.
Mhm.
And so I also think that when that came through for you, I know you were talking about your own experience of life, just as I was saying, when we're in these times, these seasons, we're going into fall right now, we can almost feel our bodies like wanting to go a little bit more, hunkering down,
Hmm.
going
Hmm.
within, right?
Hibernation.
Yeah. So it's not just about things that are happening in times and throughout life as things that we're all processing collectively, but we do go through these cycles and these seasons, and I definitely have been organizing and going through things and really getting ready for that time to be more inside spaces and also inside myself. And it's really interesting when you are present to
Mhm.
see yourself go through those seasons and cycles.
I love that you brought that up because I feel that too. Like as humans, we go through cycles. And when we're really present and we understand, oh, this is just a cycle. This is not like the end of, oh my gosh, look what I'm going through and all of, it's just think of it like a season. You're just getting through the season and what is there it's for me to learn in this situation? How can I grow through this situation? And what is it? Because everything's a lesson. Everything's teaching us something or making us realize something. A lot of times we're focusing on other people outside of us when really, if you're really present, you realize, oh, okay, this is really a little lesson for me that I need to learn.
Yeah. And you know because you may be triggered, right? So when we're triggered, we
Mhm.
often start to blame something or someone or something, but
Right.
there's gold within that feeling that you have, right? And so just feeling, okay,
Yeah.
where is it in my body? I always love teaching the 3 B's, right? Find it in the body, activate with the breath, be with it, and just see what is in there.
I love that.
Because otherwise, if we don't actually feel it, we're just pointing at a tiger. And
Right.
and we're creating that corn syrup, which our body can't process, and it's not going to flow through us. And so it's not good for us on so many levels. Energetically, it's not good for us. Physiologically, it's not because we're not actually able to be in rest and restore. And our digestive system actually turns off when we go into fight or flight
Mm.
because the reason this is so interesting. If we taste, well, we don't need to digest food if we're going to become food,
Right.
right?
Right.
and our blood becomes more acidic
Mm.
so that if we are food, we don't taste as good. So they're not going to eat us. Isn't that crazy?
That is.
It
I
goes
didn't
all
know
the
that. I
way
didn't
back.
know that.
Yeah, it goes all the way back to cavemen and cavewomen days. So we're really still working from that place when we're here. But when we do things like meditation, whatever that means, becoming familiar with your present state, we are helping to develop that prefrontal cortex, which is the crowning achievement of our human brain. And that's really where we want to be operating from.
Mm.
So, how about we talk a little bit about how to get into the present moment?
Okay.
Does that feel good?
Yeah.
So, some of my favorite ways are music. Sound brings us into our body. That's why when we go into a jungle, well, I say we, apes that run into a jungle, they beat their chest. It's because, and they yell, it's because that sound is
Mm.
grounding them in their body
Okay.
and also the feeling. So, touching your body. That's why exercise is beautiful, dancing.
Hmm.
We also are grounded. We know we're grounded because we feel here, right? And
Hmm.
you'll notice that people want to listen to you. So, leaders, actors, actresses, singers, musicians, they're all very present.
Hmm.
You know, oh my gosh, I'm really in it. I'm doing well today because you'll feel that deep connection with another,
Hmm.
which is so.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And thinking of, like you mentioned, like in meditation, just like feeling you'll, sometimes you'll hear meditation instructors say this, or, I just try to do it when I'm just doing a meditation by myself, is just feeling your place in the room, right? Like, where are you in the room? And you're part of the room, and that's grounding you in, and just giving you that feeling of presence where you are.
Mhm. Yeah, it reminds me of one of my favorite things that I teach clients is called the frame technique.
Mm.
So you look at something in the room, whether it's the wall or you take something and you put it in front of you and you say, okay, I'm separate from this item. And as you breathe in and say, I'm separate, as you exhale, you recognize that you're connected to all things and you see the periphery of not only the marker, but everything, because we're really not separate from anything, right?
Right.
But just being able to land in the present moment allows us to embody our being. So that's what I think of when you say like claiming your space in a room, you're actually feeling yourself in addition to being connected to everything.
And one of the things we were talking about before we started recording was I'm very, much in the stars, and I'm very galactic, and I love being in that space. I love talking about those things and all that. And it's easy for me to get lost in that, right? Just to get all kind of caught up in it and forget that, oh, wait, I'm here on Earth. And so then that's when it's important for me to ground myself back on Earth, making sure that I'm staying grounded, and just being present here, because this is what it's all about. This is, um, you know, my life here. How am I having an impact here? And all of the galactic stuff is important, right? Because it's shaped who I am, and what I bring forth, but just keeping my feet firmly planted
Yeah.
on Mother Gaia is
Uh,
important.
And that's another great grounding practice, right? Actually going outside with bare feet, touching the earth, breathing in
Mhm.
when you're in nature, that exchange of microbiome, upgrading our gut health, all of the ions and the exchange of the earth energy. I love standing meditation when you go outside, or you can even do it inside and just imagine your awareness is a few inches beneath your feet. That yang energy of your intention, the awareness,
Mhm.
displaces yin energy. So it comes up and it just fortifies our energy bubble or our
Mm.
primordial field. And that's another, oh my God, I remember, gosh, when I first learned standing meditation and how powerful. One big thing I noticed, I was very, very affected by other people, especially at that time. There was one person in my life I was very affected by, and it was incredible. It's 11:11. The shift that I felt in that moment because it was it was that I was embodying my presence. I was in my energy.
Hmm.
And that's so true for, I think, people like you and I and others that will be interested in this work and guided to, or not guided, I mean, yes, it is guided, but come in contact with us and
Yeah.
this podcast because we are so in tune and so sensitive. But as for as high up as you want to go, right, you have to be doubly rooted into your embodiment, whatever that means to you. And so it's all
Mm.
the things. And I love what you were talking about, integrating that galactic part of you. And as you do this work, you will, I mean, for me, I'll connect to past life things randomly. I've
Hmm.
done a bunch of past life regressions and now it just like flows in. And that's I'm
Hmm.
sure the same with you, right?
Hmm.
So we're integrating that in real time. So we're really honoring our quantum beingness, that connection to all the parts of us embodied in this one time, right? In this one moment.
Hmm. Yeah, actually, I was having a conversation with somebody the other day about because I've been doing a lot of QHHT past life regression sessions, and with facilitating them for other people. And so I was having that conversation that there are people that, and I see this also in my Akashic Records readings, people will want to focus on that past life. They'll want to really like, well, who was I? What did I do? Like how did I treat people? What all of that, and tend to take the focus off of this life and more on oh my gosh, I was a terrible person in that life that I'm remembering or whatever. And like, that's not the, all of those things are being shown to you to help guide you in this life, right? It's not to go backwards, it's to embody it in this life. And what do I need to know? How does that affect me in this life? Which I see that a lot. A lot of people want to focus on, oh, well, who was I? What? They want the story behind it. They want to know what happened. And when the very first time when I asked in my own Akashic Records about a past life, this was before I had a past life regression. I wanted to know. I'm like, I want to know. Tell me. And they actually were like, no, because you love the story. You want the novel. You want to know like what happened. Tell me all the details and all of that. And they're like, that's just a distraction for you right now. That's not what you need to be focusing on. So I feel like we are shown those things. Like you said, they just come through for you. They just flow in. And I like to call it, even though I don't like this wording, but it's true. It's like the bleed through that you get from those past lives, right? It's like those thoughts and those feelings just kind of come through and you're like, wait, where is this coming from? Don't feel like this is from this life here, what I'm living. And just realizing that those are just little things that are coming in for you to be aware of right now to really help you focus on the present moment and what's happening now and what you're needing to clear and release and all that. So,
Yeah, it feels, at least personally, as I've gone through it, it's like we're integrating all the parts of us.
yes.
And what I've found is when that happens, there's so many things, at least for me, that I've wanted to do, right? So now, like I sing in a band and I'm writing tons this part of my life. I loved writing as a kiddo, but now it's like such a different place it's coming from through me where
Mhm.
it's just flowing, right? So when we hook up to all these parts and we could say past or parallel lives, whatever you want to say, I believe it's like we're knowing all parts of ourselves
Right.
and allowing it to come through. And you see that in people that are like incredible visionaries, right? They are
Yeah.
teachers and writers and all the things because it just, for whatever reason, I mean, I think it's just bringing forth all the parts.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
It's really powerful. And I think when you were chatting about presence, one of the other things that came up is so when we are in that place of wanting to know something, right? So it wouldn't really be a full podcast unless I got this chart out, right? So when we're in desire, for those of you who don't know, this is one of my favorite things. I often feel like Vanna White. When I whip it out, it's the map of consciousness. David Hawkins really brought life to it. And so desire is down beneath courage, and it's in hyperactivity. And we're in our power when we're in courage or above. These are mirrors of each other.
Mm,
So when we're thinking about pride, it's because we actually are, well, actually, how does that work with neutrality? Well, I guess if we're willing to be, we're prideful. Like we are taking pride in ourselves, but we're also willing to be. So the point is that all of this is love. And when we bring love to every part and realize
mm,
that grief is really I loved and lost, right? And we think we're grieving because we believe that being's gone or we've lost something. But the truth is that we're one and it's always, always connected. So, anywho, what happens is when we're in our physical bodies, we become, in a sense, programmed based upon the past. And
mhm,
so we can become addicted to these chemicals that flood our body. So if we're in a state of anger or even excitement can bring adrenaline and cortisol and all the things. And so we really want to be aware when we're in those states that are sort of wanting.
mhm.
And there's a really beautiful saying, if it's hysterical, it's historical. If you're feeling hysterical about something, it means it's a pattern or something from your
Mhm,
past. And Dr. Joe Dispenza brings so much light to this in his work. He talks about how if every day at 9 o'clock someone comes in your office and has this snarky attitude and gives you the same sort of feeling of frustration, if you're in that office or not, you're on a beach somewhere. At 9 o'clock, your body is going to be
mm.
looking for that
Yes.
stimulus because it's trying to keep you safe, right? Our
Mhm,
physical mind is based upon watchtower of the past. It's always trying to keep us safe. But when we're not operating from that place, when we're in our presence, it's a very, very different feeling. And a lot of people touch upon this about how our physical mind is really to say, okay, this is a mug. Thank you, Nikki, for my new mug. I've been using it. I
mhm,
love it. She just got it when she was in Mexico, dear friend. And so we can say, okay, I'm not going to touch the stove twice. But when you're embodied in your presence, you're actually in the room, not just trying to touch the stove twice, but rather you're in tune with whatever it is that's around you, whatever it is you're feeling come through you, through inspiration, through talking. And what happens is there's a lot more space between your thoughts. So those hysterical or hyperactivity, right, in the brain,
mhm,
that doesn't happen as much because you're up here and you're in happiness and productivity, you're in peak performance without stress, and it actually does correspond with brain waves. So if you think about gamma is a high coherence brain state.
mhm,
Beta is a high thinking state, high intellect, high focus, right? But when we're in gamma, we're in flow state, which is that synchronicity and extraordinary outcomes. So it's really
mhm,
incredible when you start to think about being present, getting into the body with the breath, how it slows our brain waves down and takes us out of those places that we're talking about,
mhm.
because this is the mind and this is presence.
Absolutely.
Okay, so maybe we should, well, do you want to comment on any of that before we dive in on the meditation?
No, I think you said it all, so that's good. I love it. I love it. It's all very relevant and it's all, you know, it all ties in perfectly. So I do want to say I will put the link in the show notes to the information on David Hawkins
Yeah, oh,
so
great.
people can find that.
Yeah, he's wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh, his information is beautiful. He has a lot of great books on Audible where he talks, and he is such a funny, funny being.
Yeah.
So we're going to close the show. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. We're so
Yeah.
grateful, remembering that within every moment, we have that choice to connect to our body, connect to our breath. And we love this form of just a quick guided meditation to really land and get everyone intentional for the rest of their day and the rest of their time. So if it feels good, go ahead and close your eyes. And whatever you're feeling in your body is perfect. Just becoming aware and becoming familiar with what that is. Bringing your awareness down to the breath and inviting the breath to be a little bit longer, a little bit softer. And just finding your rhythm. And there'll be a place, there's so many beautiful breath work practices. There's box breathing, there's coherence breathing. I love Wim Hof. There's some really deep practices to integrate and be and process in the body. But the one thing I always love teaching people is this breath is always with you. And there's nothing we have to do other than be with it. So we're just being with the breath, whatever that means for you. And perhaps you want to invite it down into your belly and feeling the belly rise and fall. Maybe it feels good to allow the kidneys to expand. So you're breathing a little bit into your back space. Maybe you're wanting to do all of it. Whatever feels good, you're just finding your rhythm right now because your body knows the way. So you're just tuning into you. And just having this intention of staying with the breath, just seeing yourself in a part of your day. Maybe it's something that's coming up and you're not looking forward to it. Perhaps there's a time that feels a little less integrated for you and you feel more reactive or can be challenging. So go ahead and visualize yourself in that space, in that place, or with these people or person, and feel that part of you tethered to your breath. So you're grounding yourself in that presence that you are, and you're practicing seeing yourself there. And how powerful you want to show up as you. And you could grow roots into the earth if you'd like, imagining a tree trunk or roots are growing down. Beautiful. Okay, and now coming back to the body that we're in, maybe just touching your knees, feeling the life within your hands. You can wiggle your hands and toes and feet. Inviting that flow of the breath to come back to whatever feels good. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. I love to bring light work practices into breath and integration. So, something to add in there is just to imagine as you're breathing in, that beautiful light is expanding in you.
Mm.
And so, we're really supercharging ourselves and dis-ease or any sort of block, things like that. It's really a lowering of the frequency of us. So,
Mhm.
anytime you're adding light, it certainly is a superpower. It's charging us, it's a supercharge in our being. So, as we wrap this up, reminding you all that the light is within you,
Mhm.
and you can feel that light when you're in the grocery store. You can feel that ball of light in your belly. Can feel that light expanding around you, touching all the lives that you're in contact with in that moment. You can do it while you're driving. Just beginning to think about this second awareness that you have that can always bring your awareness to that light, always bring your awareness to the breath.
Mhm.
And with that, I believe we're complete. Kathy, do you want to say
Yeah,
anything else
yeah.
before we say
Thank
goodbye?
you all. Thank you, Beth. Thank everyone for being here.
Thank you so much, Kathy. And thank you as well, everyone, for being here. We look forward to seeing you next month and have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your day.
Yeah. Bye.